Hello, my fellow human beings. Today, I'm going to be talking about an interesting topic. It's going to be the downsides of the boost formula. Alright guys, you guys know already. The boost gameplay is one of the most successful Sonic gameplay styles, led to some of the best reviewed Sonic games in recent history, but there are a lot of problems with it, and I wish Sega would actually go back and try to address them or try to fix it with level design, but sadly I haven't been seeing any of that recently. We have come close. There are stages such as Seaside Hill Modern, Sky Sanctuary Modern, which are stages that try to branch out a little bit. They are a little bit more open, but they aren't quite there. Well, some people might be like, well, what do you want from Sega, huh? What do you want them to do about the boost? I'd ask them to get rid of it, honestly. In terms of the boost formula, it allows you to go very fast, yes, there's that, but also it sacrifices a lot of Sonic's control for this immense speed. Take for example Sonic Unleashed, probably one of the most uncontrollable Sonics you'll ever play. Sure, it's fun to play when you're quick stepping and boosting and all that stuff, but you realize just how quickly this Sonic was meant to just go fast and not do anything else but quick step, drift, and boost. Platforming is kind of a nightmare when it comes to Chanan and some other 3D platforming sections. It's definitely not made for Sonic to be platforming around. While Sega has slowed Sonic down a little bit in terms of Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations, trying to make his control a little bit easier, it still does not help the fact that Sonic does feel very stiff once he hits a certain speed. It's simply due to how Sonic accelerates. At a certain speed, he locks into this kind of speed mode. When he starts out, maybe he's a little bit more controllable, yeah, but the faster he goes, the more he accelerates, he starts becoming more uncontrollable. He just locks into the speed mode, which is basically only made to really run fast. That's why the quick step is there, because Sega realized just how hard it is to move Sonic left and right. I'm really not sure about the development of the Sonic Boost gameplay, although I have to say, it could be very well possible that the sidestep, the quick step, was introduced in the gameplay because it was really difficult for Sonic to move left and right because Sega made the gameplay like that. That's why we have the drift to help Sonic make those turns, because Sonic is just not controlled for making sharp turns or moving left and right anymore. It's more for that immense speed that you will be getting by the boost and all that stuff, The boost gameplay is really limited and really linear. Of course, Sonic is only meant to be going at fast speeds. Even Colors and Generations, as they tried to keep improving Sonic's control, it's still not there, Colors made it a little bit better, he was a little bit stiff, but that was alright. In terms of Sonic Generations, that was the best that Sonic has controlled in terms of using the boost gameplay, but even then, they're only modifying the boost engine a little bit. You can see that Sonic at a certain speed just locks into running at a straight line, and that's basically all he's good at doing at a certain speed. Once he enters his full speed animation, that basically gets rid of all control you previously had in favor of the Unleashed going in a straight line control. That is a huge problem when it comes to Sonic, because overall, if Sega makes a very uncontrollable, very go in a straight line Sonic, what does that do to the level design? It horribly limits you. You're not able to do that much if Sonic's only able to quick step, run in a straight line, and drift to make sharp turns. There's not really much you are able to do in a game like that. While Sega could try to expand and make the boost gameplay better by making the levels and environments much bigger, much more open, so the boost can actually be used in an interesting way, because if they were able to make huge, expansive stages, the use of the boost would be very needed. Why? Because the boost is very fast. It allows you to traverse ground extremely quickly, and if the stages were big and expansive, the use of the boost would be much more needed. Unfortunately though, most stages that are in the boost gameplay style are very limited and very linear. Even when you take into account all of Seaside Hill and all of Sky Sanctuary's alternate paths and open spaces, it still somehow leads you in to just being another narrow corridor or some sort of boost section where you literally just hold the button down and you just keep going forward. It's the way how the level design is structured, because while there are certain sections where the game forces you to slow down a little bit, usually when the camera pans to 2D, that's when you do more of the platforming stuff. But I feel like switching to 2D to do platforming is not a very good way of affecting Sonic, because what they effectively do when they move Sonic into 2D is that they limit him. He basically is put on a speed cap and makes him much slower than he is in 3D. And while this does help with 2D platforming, I feel like Sega's only relying on the 2D because they're not really sure how to program 3D platforming, how to do that effectively with the boost gameplay. Because if you were to actually look at all the stages in Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors, and Sonic Generations, where do you do most of the platforming? In 2D. You're not doing much platforming in 3D sections. If anything, you're just boosting down a narrow straight line, drifting, and doing homing attack chains like crazy. There's not really much to the boost gameplay in 3D. If anything, it's more of a spectacle than anything. And while it can be enjoyable in short bursts, and you know, the feeling of Sonic going fast is still exhilarating, but at a certain point it gets old because there's not really much you're doing with him. All you're doing is just switching the environments Sonic is going in, but in the end, it's just Sonic running down a different stage in a straight line, very narrow, and not much to it. Unfortunately, Sega put themselves in kind of a hole because of that. They kind of made that a problem. Now, they may be trying to fix that in Sonic Forces because they are limiting the boost to the wisps and probably certain enemies, so I'm guessing that they are kind of aware that you're basically boosting in a narrow corridor sometimes. But even then, using the wisp capsules as boosts, judging from the gameplay that we saw, basically they're giving you wisp capsules when you should be boosting. When it's a straight line, that's when you boost. They literally give you one wisp capsule and you're ready to go into a row of enemies, nothing else in front of you, just boost and go. That's literally how the boost is working out in Sonic Forces, which I don't really like because it feels like the game is limiting you. It feels like the game is making decisions for you instead of you actually choosing when to boost or not. The game is like telling you, well, here's a wisp capsule, boost now. Sega may be trying to actually fix what they're going through with the whole Sonic boost gameplay level design, although I feel like if they were to actually nail the Sonic boost gameplay, they'd have to do it in bigger environments. Not only are all the stages going to start blending into the exact same thing over and over again, they really need to put Sonic in big open spaces to make use of all that speed Sonic has on him. Because as of now, most Sonic Boost stages are mainly for the spectacle, mainly for the adrenaline to see Sonic running so fast. You know, there are often these sections where you're just holding the boost or just drifting and boosting. That's it, there's nothing much to it. While they do have alternate paths, yes, it does not feel like part of an interconnecting world. It feels like maybe you took a high path this time, maybe you took a path to the left, but either way, it all interconnects to one straight pathway where you literally are just running straight in a line, and that's it.